Thank you for tuning in for Teaching for the Culture. My name is Elvis Piggott. I'm running for Hillsborough County School Board, District 5.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Teaching for the Culture. And I'm very excited. I have a candidate running for School Board District 5, and that is Pastor Elvis Piggott. He's been in the community fighting for our kids, and I'm glad to have him here. How are you doing today, Pastor Piggott?
I'm wonderful. Glad to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So I want to go ahead and get started with these interview questions because the community has been wanting to know about your run for District 5. So the first question I have is, what motivates you to want to become a school board member?
Well, great question. I think that is. I really have a passion for our youth. I want to ensure that all of our opportunities and our kids have the opportunity to be successful. At the end of the day, when I refer to all students, I mean just that. We have ESE students that would receive services or getting support. They need to be successful as well. As a former ESE student, I recognize the challenges that these students face and will work hard to reassure they receive high quality education. I want to address the lack of support and the success of our young Black males experiencing on a daily basis, and to ensure that these young men have a voice that encourages them to stay on track. I want to be the voice for District 5, which is the area that is facing many disparities when it comes to teaching and learning conditions in these schools. That's what really motivates me to do it.
That's good that you're motivated to do this. And so the next question I have is, describe your top three objectives if you are elected to be a school board member.
One thing is I want to increase parent involvement. Parent involvement engagement with District 5 schools. What's very important is that right now we're in an election process. We're going to canvass, we're going to knock on doors, we're going to send mailers, we're going to send robocalls, we're going to do a lot of things to get the voters engaged to go out to the polls and vote for us. I want to ask the question, when is it the last time an elected official sent a robocall, got a team together that's in the District 5 and canvassed and knocked on doors and asked those parents, going out to their houses on the Saturday, knocking on those doors, making those phone calls saying, hey, do you know about your child's education? Do you know this is what's going on in this school in this area? Or, making sure that we know our kids and we know our community and we are doing what's necessary to get them involved. One thing I do, I'm well over of us really criticizing our parents and talking about what they're not doing. But I think we go extra and beyond because they're not voting neither. But we do whatever it takes to make sure they vote. I think we need to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're engaged and they are involved with their child's education. I think the second thing is working closely with students, teachers, and staff members and administrators to listen to their concern, their struggles, and their needs in order to address the disparities in District 5 schools. It is important they feel heard, valued, and appreciated, and including this continuous improvement process. I think that when we are an elected official, we must go out to those teachers. I want to see what it looked like to have all the teachers of District 5 come together. I want to be that person that goes to these schools and have that teacher conversation within the 69 schools of my district. I want to hear the teachers' concerns and what I could do better. How could I work with the superintendent? What are some things that they would like to see done in their school? Because every school, different conditions change from one school to another. And I think that the teachers must feel valued and feel that they are heard and that we do care concerning their input, because we cannot continue to make decisions from the dais without including those that's in the field. We have to now make sure that our decisions we're making on the dais, it's not going to negatively impact those that's in the field every day. That last thing that I will want to do is provide all students with a safe pathway to and from school, improving our school transportation. I received a call on last week that the school bus was so packed that the bus driver and the aide was encouraging the students to stand up. They were standing up in the middle of the bus, driving to the school. That's a safety concern. And then they also said that the bus was so crowded that they told the kids to sit on someone else's lap. That's a safety concern. Not only is it a safety concern, but the transportation is used to telling the students that it can be 3 for a seat. That's elementary size students, not high school students. And that's where conflict is coming. Our kids sometimes is getting to school, missing their whole first period, and sometimes not even getting home until 6 p.m. in the afternoon. We have real issues. We have problems with our transportation system. And the biggest complaint I hear with our transportation is even they feel undervalued, they feel underprivileged, and they feel underpaid. We need to address these issues, and we need not longer politic, but we need to be a voice for the people.
Amen. So, what do you see the current challenge facing public education in our state and also in our country?
Well, I believe Florida teacher shortage in our state is most urgent in education issues. We have a shortage all over. We're not even having students leaving high school going into education anymore. I think that we have to agree that the most important factor is children's success, which is affected if we don't have the proper teachers or we're not valuing our teachers. In addition, our governor has officially eliminated the Florida standards, which is a version of the Common Core, and has replaced it with the benchmarks for excellent students thinking best. This will require a complete rollout, and this is a new curriculum which is impacting how schools are graded. Our nation is also plagued with the teacher shortage. It's everywhere. Teachers feel undervalued, they feel underpaid, and we need to work on making sure that we are valuing our teachers, we're paying our teachers, we have proper recruiting efforts right here in Hillsborough County, and also searching to make sure that we roll out these things with high school students to motivate them to go into the education field. We need to be encouraging and making teachers, we need to make teaching look good again. And that's a very big, important thing, that in order to get our kids to understand when they get out of 12th grade, we need to make sure that we're valuing our teachers, that teachers begin to have that passion again, that fire again, that they can allow that aroma, they can allow that energy to seek out and touch our kids, that our kids want to say, I want to be a teacher. My goddaughter is in 5th grade, and her desire is to be a teacher. I think that's great. I asked her, I said, you don't want to be a principal? She said, no, I want to be a teacher. I want to be an educator. And I like that. We got to make it look good again. And I think that's something that I will practice doing in District 5, making education looks good again.
So, with that, what are 2 to 3 needs that must be priorities that our district address? What do you think these priorities are?
Well, I will say one will be ensuring high performing teachers are working with our low performing students. I'm going to say that again. Our high performing teachers working with our low performing students. I mentor a student that attend a achievement school in District 5 last year. The student was being bullied, having behavior issues, and not performing in his classes good. This student is now attending an achievement school about 2 miles down the road, and fortunate to have certified highly effective. And this student now is being tested for gifted. He was below level in everything at another school, put him over in another achievement school with high performing teachers, and now they're testing him for gifted. That's what it looks like when you have high performing teachers working with low performing students. I think the second thing was ensuring there is equity and accountability throughout our district. That's important. What I mean by that is our area superintendents are actively engaging with our school leaders to make sure resources are in place. By no means do I mean they need to micromanage the principal. However, but rather serve as a system of support. Our area superintendents need to be a support to make sure that equity needs to be in the forefront of every decision, from resources to facilities to teacher retention. It's a must. My third thing is student safety is another priority that must be addressed. When parents leave their children at our schools, they are entrusting us with their most prized possession. At the end of the day, we need to make sure students are safe at schools. Not only our students, our teachers are safe on their way to and from school, providing a safe path for our schools to advocate for safe school bus transportation for our students. When students feel safe, their attendance increase and so do their achievements. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Good, good. And a lot of those priorities, I feel like, you're right. It's very critical to address these issues that you brought up. So with these issues, what do you think should be the priority of our new superintendent coming in?
I think bringing equity and accountability to Hillsborough County Schools. District 5, at the end of the day, have not received the equity they deserve. And I think that I will be that voice speaking with our superintendent newly appointed that, listen, we need equity and accountability. We have to make sure that he will be coming in with a fresh set of eyes, ideas to increase student achievement, and that's what's important. And I think District 5 should be a priority. I think equity in District 5 should be on the forefront, and I think I will be there to make sure that District 5 is no longer overlooked for everything else on the agenda, but we will be there in the forefront to make sure that equity with our teachers, equity with our facilities, equity with our students, and holding these elected officials accountable to help us. But most of all, our superintendent has to make sure that he understands accountability and equity is a mandate, and it's important, and it's now. We no longer have time to wait.
And so, a few months ago, you were standing in support of Mr. Henry Shake Washington,
Mhm.
and you recently joined the same race. So, how do you explain to the community about your decision to join this race for School Board District 5 now?
Awesome question. And honestly, Bianca, I'm glad you asked it. I think what was a I was in whole heart support for Shake Washington. He was my principal at Middleton High School. Many things corresponded. What ended up happening is I understood the dislike that I had for the way our current board member, Tammy Schamberger, has been executing when it comes down to our community, when it comes down to the situation at the cemetery, when the issue came about where she had a press conference with the superintendent, and that was it. Standing there without the NAACP, standing there without many elected officials, standing there without many leaders in our community, to allowing. I really had a problem with her leadership. And I got so disgusted with the way the community was being treated that I honestly said, hey, let's get someone up. I did not want to take the challenge to run head in head with Tammy Schamberger because I wasn't prepared for a dirty race. I understood that our kids needed a voice. I knew how important it was. And I wanted to say, hey, let's pull Shake Washington. I'll support Shake for the dislike that I have for the treatment of the community and our staff members, the retaliation that has took place within our schools. I just was disgusted with it. And so I reached out and decided, hey, okay, Shake Washington, he ran in 2018. And in 2018, I was going to run for school board. And he was in the race, and I agreed not to because he was in the race. This time came around, and I asked Shake Washington the question, what is your plan? What do you have? I know he's worked for 42 years. I can never discredit his ability, his experience, his passion, and his love and his commitment to our students. What's main important right now is someone that is going to speak very strong, that's going to speak truth to power, that's going to hold people accountable, and that's going to ask for answers. I could not find that in Shake Washington. If the truth be told, I did not want to support someone because of the dislike for another. I did not want to support Shake Washington without knowing that he had a plan to push our students, our schools, and our teachers to a better place. I wanted to hear the concerns that he will go on the board and challenge, the policies which he would change because he's worked with a flawed district. District 5 issues have not just popped up. These have been District 5 issues for a very long time. And I wanted to be able to hear him stand firm on some of these issues and let me know that he will strongly fight against some of the things that have plagued our students, plagued our teachers, and plagued our community within this district. And I couldn't get that. So I decided to contact him. I called him on the phone and let him know that I wanted to enter this race. I wanted him to know that it was nothing personal, but I have a plan. I have a vision. I have a passion for our young people, and I have policies that need to be implemented and policies that need to be changed. And I wanted him to know that I would not run a dirty race. I will always honor his commitment to this district and our students. I will always uphold the integrity which he walks in. But I did know that this seat need a person that is not afraid of backlash, that's not afraid to speak truth to power, that's not afraid to challenge anyone on the dais for our kids and our community. Most of all, that's not afraid to hold our current superintendent accountable, that's coming in, Addison Davis, to show equity within District 5. And I believe I'm the man for the job.
All right. Well, you've explained that one. And so I hope that that clears everything up that some people had because they had questions. And I said, well, I don't know. Maybe, he can interview with me and clear it up. So my last question is, how can people support you?
Well, people can support me in a variety of ways. We're going to need canvassing. We're going to need phone banking. We mainly is going to have to raise good money. I'm looking for everyone that really knows me, that I've been true to this. The kids is my passion, and making sure that we can bring real change and impact. I need your support. You can email me by voteelvis@gmail.com. You can also soon be able to visit our website. You also could mail us any contributions at P.O. Box 6871, Brandon, Florida 33508. Feel free to give me a call at 813-858-1817. And on top of that, Bianca, I read a book talk about leadership, and it says a great leader is never afraid of confrontation. And that's why I know that it has to be me that's sitting in this dais when November comes, because I am not afraid of confrontation. But most definitely, we don't need District 5 to be shaken up anymore. We need at this point to settle some things down.
Well, you heard it here. Thank you for tuning in to Teaching for the Culture. I'm very excited to see how the school board race in District 5 pans out and everything that's happening with that. So thank you, Pastor Piggott, for spending some time with me in Teaching for the Culture to kind of, give us your why and why you're in this race and why you're in this fight. So I greatly appreciate you and what you do for the community.
I thank you. And as I leave, I will say this: I'm a change that we need and a voice that our kids deserve. Thank you, Bianca, for the time.
And with that, that concludes today's interview. See y'all next time.